welcome to The Artful Chef. Today we are talking about collage, and collage is anything that you find that you can piece together to make a piece of art out of. So it could be newspaper or magazines or bits of cards or paper, really anything that you have. I collect a bunch of different random things and save them for different projects. So it could be two-dimensional, three-dimensional. Collage has so many possibilities. I'm going to show you two different examples today. One is going to be just papers from magazines and newspapers and a little bit of painting here at the bottom. And then I'm also going to show you how to do this larger piece here. This is supposed to represent the Superstition Mountains at the Lost Dutchman State Park in Arizona. So this is magazine and newspaper as well, a little bit of decoupage involved, and we're going to go through all the different steps on how to make both of these pieces. But collage is not limited to just this. There are so many possibilities out there. You just got to experiment and have fun with it. So let's get started. Once you have decided on the topic for your artwork, you're going to create some type of interesting background. So I am actually working on a canvas board, but if you're at home and you don't have access to a canvas, you can always put this on just a cardstock, something sturdy. You can even use a cardboard box to put it on. It really doesn't matter because collage is all about coming up with different things and putting them together. So any kind of surface is going to work for this project. So for my background, I'm going to take some different, I've got some cartoon comic strips from the newspaper. I've got some random newspaper ads. I've also got an old word search book. I've got a crossword puzzle book. I'm going to take some of these pages and come up with an interesting background, and I'm going to decoupage them onto my surface. So most people go and buy Mod Podge, but Mod Podge really is just a watered down glue. So you can take any old school glue, mix it with just a little bit of water, make it a little thinner, and you have the same thing that you would have with Mod Podge. So I'm going to begin by cutting out and laying my items down on my surface, trying to figure out the best layout, and then we will adhere them. Now that my background has had time to dry, I'm going to start working on the rest of my picture. The background is important to an extent. It really depends on if you have a huge canvas or a huge piece of whatever you're working on. You're going to want to make sure you have a background because it makes all the difference in the picture. This, however, is a very small canvas, and a lot of my background is going to get covered up, but I still wanted to have something showing, so it's not just plain white behind this. Now you could paint it a color if you wanted to, but I just like the look of the different print in the background. So my topic for my artwork is the split, the difference that our mind struggles with about things that we want in life and things that society makes us feel like we have to have in life. So I have chosen some different words from just different ads and magazines that I've found, like family, sweet love, feel good, share. Those are things that are important to me. And then I've got this one that says the choice is clear. But the point I'm trying to make is the choice isn't really clear, because over here I have things that society tells us that we have to win and that we have to, be perfect, and then we have to be satisfied, and we have to be tiny, or we feel like a zero. So I've got them split here in the middle with this emphasis on that. I'm going to draw a portion of a head down here, and I'm just going to fill mine in with oil pastel because I have it, but really whatever materials you have at home work well for collage, because collage is really about putting all these different found objects together. So I'm going to start working on putting the head here, and then I'm going to decoupage these papers down onto my board. So what you will notice in my finished product is I have tried to give the person at the bottom the look of what society expects, what we feel like we have to be. So she has manicured eyebrows and big full lashes, lots of hair over here. On this side, it's much more natural, unmanicured eyebrows, just very small eyelashes. So this is the fight between what we want and what society thinks we should be. Now, this is not the only thing that you can do in collage. This is just one example. So let me show you another. So depending on where you're going with your next step, on the last example, I put glue over the top of the paper when I laid it down to make sure that the edges stay down. But on this piece, I want to do a watercolor wash over this, so I don't want glue on the top of this surface. So I individually used the glue on the back side of each piece of paper before I laid it onto the canvas so that there would be no glue on the surface. Now let's do a watercolor wash on this. My goal with my collage on this piece is to create the look of a scene in Arizona, because that's one of my favorite places to be. So in the background, I have all of the current things that are happening in East Texas, especially our big snowstorm that we had, because that's a big deal here in Texas. But then I want to mix what's going on in my real life with the place that I love to be. So over here I have some watercolors that I have put into my tray. So I'm going to be using orange yellow, gambosia, violet, Prussian blue, burnt sienna, and I have a little bit of the cerulean blue. So with watercolors, it does not take very much to get the effect that you're going for. And my goal is not to paint this background, but just to put a little bit of wash of color to subdue the white a little bit. And then I'm going to overlay my papers that I have selected to create my collage with on top of that after it dries. So on this particular design, there are a couple of things that I've done. I went to just a local hardware store and got some of these paint sample books, and I was able to pull a lot of colors that I want for my mountains out of those. And then from magazine pages, I've chosen several different shades of green because I want to put some cactus in my picture. So I've got all these different pages. So I'm showing you this because I want you to see the possibilities of where you can get these colors from to be able to create your overall picture. So this is another color I'm going to cut into strips and add for the mountain, and then I'm debating on whether to add some water on here. But I want you to see what I have done. I've got little sections of color here in just straight strips. You do not have to cut straight strips for collage. Collage could be torn pieces, it could be cut pieces, it could be shapes. It doesn't matter. I just like the look for this particular design to be in stripes. And what I have done is I have gone and I have drawn out with a pencil my mountain, because I'm creating the Lost Dutchman mountains that can be found in Arizona. And that is my goal, is to create the color of the mountains here with the ground at the bottom, and then this is supposed to be the sunset in the background. So let's get started putting these color pieces together, and then we will glue them down. So I have finished with this piece, and I want to point out some little things that I found that I thought were really cool that I feel like add to a picture when you're working on it. And this could be anything for you if you're doing something in collage style. It could be little objects or things like that. But I found this page in a magazine that had, it was a setting that looked similar to Arizona, and so I found some Indians and some little rocks that I added. I created this saguaro cactus out of layering different colors of green together. I even found this little eagle that was flying up in the air. So little details like that make a big difference in telling the story that you're trying to tell behind your collage work. I want to thank you for joining us for this collage lesson today. I hope that you have enjoyed what you've seen and you give it a try at home. If you like the things you see on our channel, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe so that you can get notifications for different videos as they come out. And you guys have a wonderful day.